For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
The governor of St. Lucia is being asked to state its position on the Guyana-Venezuela border dispute. Also, the head of the St. Lucia Teachers Union is clamoring for consultation with regard to the review of the island's Education Act. And we have a whole lot more between now and 2 o'clock this afternoon as we welcome you to another edition of the most monitored talk show in the world. This is Newspin on Power 97.9 FM. We are also on YouTube and the Newspin Facebook page. During the course of the broadcast, your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. And Kimani will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. Also, we have just in time for Christmas and the festive season, your Newspin mugs. And if I should say so, very lovely mugs. Think they can make great gifts as well. And that's in time for the festive season. You news spinners out there, you have been monitoring the program for so long. It is now time for you to add this to your collection of various items, including your collection of Newspin promotional items, including our first mug, which we produced about a little over 3 years ago. So you could order your mugs by just WhatsApping me at 716-2026, 716-2026, and those mugs cost only $50, and we did not produce many. We've already sold at least 15 mugs. Imagine that. 15 mugs have been sold between yesterday and today, and we have a limited supply. Think, Imani, you have one for sure because I gifted you one. The producer has one as well. So please don't feel left out. You need to have your mug. Dial via WhatsApp 716. Send me a WhatsApp message 716-2026. And that is for your Newspin mugs. They are currently on sale. There's even a photograph of yours truly. I don't know if it enhanced it or or if it messed it up. What do you think, Imani? Yeah.
Left to be determined.
Okay. So let's discuss the other issues of the day. The Education Act. It will always be something that would require unanimity, that would prove very troublesome when you are reviewing a piece of legislation as important as one pertaining to education, the dispensation of education, and involving all the stakeholders. It will impact foremost students, teachers. It will also impact parents, the wider St. Lucian society. And for so long now, we've been calling for a review of the Education Act, modernize it in keeping with emerging challenges, and also the need for us to ensure that we prepare for the emerging circumstances and things like technology that would police the behavior of kids and even educators. So everyone would be impacted. At some point in time, there should be dialogue, there should be consultation. That is why I found it a little bit strange to hear from the president of the SLTU, Mr. Don Howell, that discussion does not amount to consultation. We all can meet around the table and exchange ideas and views, but we need to consult each other and to taking the various concerns of the various players. Let us hear from the president of the SLTU, Mr. Don Howell, and again, he is calling for the Ministry of Education and the other stakeholders to engage educators, engage teachers as far as the review of the Education Act is concerned.
The SLTU is not against reviewing the Act, but we believe that there should be consultation and not only discussions. There's a fundamental difference between the two. The Act will affect everyone in St. Lucia. Importantly, it impacts the practitioners, including teachers, principals, and counselors, who are expected to operationalize the Act. Therefore, the consultation on the Education Act should be thorough. One-time meetings and town hall presentations are not enough. From the time the Ministry of Education began to speak about reviewing the Act, the SLTU has stressed the need for the Act to be thoroughly discussed and that consultation should be comprehensive. The SLTU gave initial suggestions to the Ministry's consultant, but indicated that further reviews must be done with the SLTU as the discussion advances. To assist in raising awareness of this issue, the SLTU invited the Ministry of Education consultants to its education conference in October of 2023. Although this was not a decision-making meeting, it provided an opportunity for the consultants to gather some recommendations. One of the recommendations that stood out was that more consultation has to be done, and short one-hour sessions will not allow for any in-depth discussion on the Act. The consultant agreed, and the consultant also shared that they had only engaged 500 people at that time. Following the SLTU's recommendation for more discussion, the SLTU noticed a schedule of town hall meetings. The SLTU noted that no engagement was scheduled for the practitioners in the education system, the teachers and the principals. The employer has a responsibility to engage its employees. Hence, the SLTU requested that arrangements be made to have proper consultations with teachers and principals. However, the ministry indicated that the practitioners can just join the town hall meetings set up for the public. The SLTU was astonished at the level of regard that was given to teachers and principals regarding the Education Act review. The Ministry of Education's team was reluctant to have engagement specifically for teachers and principals. For us in the SLTU, it demonstrated a lack of respect for the practitioners by their employers. Further, The SLTU is of the view that when the final draft is completed, the practitioners should be engaged again so that they understand what is in the final document. They should also meet and do the same with the SLTU. Just to note that the current meetings will discuss the proposals, but there will still be a gap because the final draft document will be different from what the stakeholders are currently discussing. And if their ideas were incorporated or not, they deserve an explanation as to why the ideas were incorporated or it was not incorporated. The practitioners deserve the same level of engagement as everyone else.
Just so there from the president of the St. Lucia Teachers Union, Mr. Don Howell. But we have to be realistic that an act of that nature will not incorporate all the views of all the stakeholders. There must be a level of give and take as far as this situation is concerned. We'd love to hear from you on this particular subject as well as any matter of concern that you'd like to highlight on the broadcast right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, and that is 716-2026. While we await your calls, I think a number of people have already placed their orders. Kimani, what I will be doing is be giving you an assignment, and that is to take a mug to the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Philip J. Pierre, and have you dish out his $50. Are you brave enough to do that?
I am.
Okay, all right. So that's your assignment for next week. We'll be doing that on Wednesday of next week. Tuesday is National Day, and we're on Wednesday.
Okay.
All right. Let's take a call. In a moment, we'll be going through some of the comments in the chat room. Or we'll answer that call. What's in the chat room, Kimani?
Someone says in the chat room, so consultation and town hall meetings are needed for the Education Act, but not for moving to the CCJ. Well, 15.2 covers all it seems. Someone is asking how can they get 2 mugs? They're in France, Tim. How would you be able to do
Well,
that?
if they have relatives in St. Lucia, what they can do is to have them purchase the mugs, and then the relatives there will ship the mugs over to them in France.
So you
Easy
won't
does
be
it.
You won't be doing the shipping,
No,
Tim.
I don't do that.
Another comment in the chat room. Someone says, how is Kimani, Tim? And I agree. Why don't you go bring it for the Prime Minister yourself, Tim?
No, I think he's more likely to give in to you and to have a discussion with you, and then you'll have a discussion about me, and then you sell the mugs.
That's it, Tim.
All right, thank you so much. 452-2979. Once again, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. I think I should have some of your comments there, but in the meantime, we take a call. Good afternoon. This is Newspin. You are on the air. Hello?
Yes.
Good afternoon. Hello?
Hello?
Yes,
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Yes. In regard to that Education Act, where is the consultation with the parents?
Caller, I'm not aware.
mean,
I'm not aware when the consultations will take place with the parents.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that, I mean, we are stakeholders as well.
Mm-hmm.
The parents, the students, you know, if this is going to be affecting us like the gentleman said, you know, we want to know as parents, you know, what is in the Act, let's say when it comes to parental rights, for example. I'm seeing certain snippets of the Act circulating, stating that children can be given suspension if in case they don't want to be administered certain health, you know, things like vaccines and stuff like that, if they have to be, you know, seen by a medical practitioner. Where does the parental consent come in? And is it a situation where, for example, in the Education Act, the Freedom Coalition brought up the whole idea of early sexualization, right, through this whole comprehensive sex education.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if they are basically trying to fit in this whole thing whereby children can be exposed to this whole gender identity and this whole gender confusion that a lot of parents are concerned about.
But you remember the keyword you used there is imagining, right? So I think maybe you should try to speak with, if you have children going to school, try to speak with the teachers or the principal of that school, or try to get a copy of the Education Act, and to see whether there is any consultation that is being set aside for parents.
Yeah, because they must have an option, Mr. Poleon. They must have a choice. You cannot have a one-size-fit-all, and you have to impose this, and it's mandatory that the children learn certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Parents should have a choice. Children should have a choice. Everybody should have a choice. But again, I just want to applaud the gentleman whereby we need more discussion, not only on the teachers level, but the parents and the children's level. If this is going to be so drastic, it's going to change our lives so much. We need more dialogue, more town hall meetings, and more time to be able to decide, because certain things that bend our culture, that bend our religious inclination, we cannot welcome that and just openly accept this in our society. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. We have another call, this time via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is Newspin, you're on the air.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Mrs. Flood Bobro.
Yes, Timothy, just a very quick comment. There's so many things to talk about, but I don't want to monopolize at all. I've been following your program, I think,
no problem, ma'am.
Consecutive day in a row.
Your contribution is welcome.
But I just want to, I think it's important that I thank Dr. James yesterday for his statement on the turning point matter, which I had brought to Newspin. I just wonder, Timothy, so first of all, I do want to thank him for coming out and making a statement. This is really, really important. I just want you to help me clarify, Timothy, whether Dr. James assured us, the citizens, that Turning Point will not close its doors unless arrangements have been made for both inpatient and outpatient clients, meaning that the residential services of Turning Point will continue. Did I hear Dr. James give us that commitment?
He did, ma'am. He did.
He did. Wonderful. So that's great, Timothy. I want to thank Dr. James and the Ministry of Health for reassuring us of that. I think I also heard Dr. James said that they would be sending out a press release. I would like to say that it's really important that that press release is in fact disseminated, because I think that would give us the kind of comfort we need as well to see the undertakings that he gave in writing. So just to say that I'm really pleased and encouraged by what I heard. This is a situation that will be monitored, and we look forward to the updates from the Ministry of Health as they move along to let us know that the commitments that Dr. James gave are in fact being implemented. So thank you very much, Timothy, and Newspin for that.
You're welcome, ma'am, and thank you so much for calling. Just heard there from former Health Minister Sarah Flood Bobra. She did address that particular issue involving the Turning Point as of Monday of this week. She's very persistent, and we also, in the final analysis, we got to hear from the CEO of the Millennium Heights Medical Complex, Dr. James. 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, 716-2026. I don't know if we have any comments in the chat room, Kimani?
Someone says, caller, you made them change their minds. Another comment, someone says, consultation on education, but what about GPH? Someone says, condolences to the principals, teachers, and staff, parents, students, and past students of the Cicero Combined RC School on the passing of their teacher, Mr. Stevens. Another comment, nothing is going right in St. Lucia when our education system have gone amok. That's it.
Thank you so much. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is Newspin. You are on the air.
Good afternoon.
Hi. Good afternoon to you, caller.
I heard you on your program mention about what is the position of Mr. Philip J. Pierre in reaction to the Venezuelan-Guyana dispute. Now, I think the Prime Minister was in Venezuela about 2 months ago. Am I right?
Yes, he was in Venezuela recently, I think, yeah.
Huh?
Yes, I think he was.
He was in Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it is not if the Prime Minister in his personal capacity say something, supporting Venezuela, that will be the Prime Minister's own personal point of view as to how he sees the situation that is going on there right now. But the position of St. Lucia is supposed to be something totally different, because we have so many Guyanese living in St. Lucia right now. I have uncle living in Guyana, and Guyana, I call it like another St. Lucia for itself. But then some government, because Guyana is a member of CARICOM, and in that situation, I have seen a lot of leaders in CARICOM supporting Guyana's claim over the Essequibo region. But the question is, we want to hear if the Prime Minister were to speak on behalf of the nation, and I've already said he wants peace in the Caribbean, peace in the Caribbean, peace in the Caribbean, but the Prime Minister could go a little deeper in terms of what he means by, peace in the Caribbean for sure, but if Guyana have the right for that particular area, come clearly and said, well, the land belongs to Guyana. Everybody know what happened with the arbitration of in 18th century and the 1966 and thereabout. I don't want to go through all of these that have been said over and over. But then move away from that Guyana situation, although it's close to us. Anything that is happening in fact, call it the Caribbean basin, it will have an effect in St. Lucia as well. Christmas is coming, and I know a lot of St. Lucians, the poor, call it the so-called the poorest of the poor. And I know a lot of them right now are trembling because they are wondering how they're going to face the festive season. And we know for the fact Christmas is a time of giving. Am I right?
So we've told, yes.
Yeah, that is what we have often said. That some of us use it make hypocrite with it too.
I think because of the atmosphere and everything, what Christmas signifies, the birth of Christ, people tended to be more generous around this time of year.
Exactly, very well said. So in our constituency, as we have always done, visiting the poor and the vulnerable, those who have worked so hard to see that the constituency we have there, that they can, have done the work, and then now we are just riding smoothly on their hard working. We are always always in our time, go and visit them and give them a little token of appreciation, whatever, little food basket or something, and I think that is we still have that in our constituency. I don't want to speak to other community constituencies, but that is still existing very well with us here. And then
that constituency is Miku South.
Definitely, sir. And that is why when I told you the last time, that is one of the most precious constituencies in the island among the 17 constituencies. Some persons tend to not to satisfied with that or believe. I'm just saying that we have never lost that tradition of visiting the sick, the poor, the vulnerable, the imagined, whatever word we want to use, and give them a token of appreciation, in which district representative normally do his every time like that. He's always on the ball, helping the poor and move around. That is why he will remain one of the best representatives that we have there, because he doesn't look at it as anything in terms of passing around. Some of us, when we sit in our homes, eating our ham and our teas and drinking our drinks, and we forget that we're wondering how the poor, how they are doing. Those who cannot work, who are still on the bedridden and does not even have a family to take care of. This is the type of things in this constituency. That is why I all the time admire the cooperation of all people in that constituency and the support that they have, that all of them coming together with their district representative and make sure that spirit has never left us. Again, the crime situation is very much affecting us, and I'm hoping, I am not begging anybody to give the people a chance for Christmas. That should never be at no time. This country, a country that have rules and laws, and sometimes I'm getting vexed. Sometimes I just be very vexed when I hear a person tell you, the fellas give us a pull out a break for the time. So after Christmas past, you can go and start killing people. I'm not those who support this. You have an illegal firearm, your job is to go and kill people. You need to stop it one way or the other. That's how I operate. You need to stop it Christmas Eve, stop it day after Christmas. Completely stop this nonsense and let everybody, because God did not give anybody the right to go out and just taking people out and believe you are so bold and so I don't care. Everybody in this festive season have to policing themselves at the home. Watch your neighborhood. Check who is coming in and who is going out. Check your surroundings, your yard. Check, because anything, some fellas are just carrying pot for a storm. Get yourself on a state of readiness and prepare yourself for any eventuality. I'm not telling people go out there and do bad. If you're in your yard, get yourself whatever you have in your possession and your life is under threat at your home, in your property. Use everything you have to make sure that you neutralize that attacker. That's what I'm saying. Okay, the police are alone, the hands are tied, and it's not after you get killed, then you would call the police. That just cannot work. Try and make sure you remain law-abiding citizen, but if it reaches to a point where you have to be threatened at your home, somebody, everyone underneath bushes want to rob your house and take you out. Once you can get a clean shot at them, take it too before they take it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. Well, you as a citizen, you are foremost a police officer in your own right. You're the Minister for National Security within yourself and within your household, Minister for Health, you name it. So it starts with you in terms of protecting yourself and your family. And also outside of that, in the wider community, the wider society, no doubt you'll be looking for protection from the police. I just hope that we are getting set for the ushering of the festive season, that as a people will be ensuring that we maintain law and order, because it starts with us. And going forward, we ensure that we provide the police with the level of support and cooperation that is required to keep this crime problem under some level of control. Not only during the festive season, but after that, several weeks and months and years to come after that. 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, and that is 716-2026. Imagine, Kimani, somebody says, Tim, $50 for a mug, where was the consultation? I think there should be a protest march. That is not necessary. Don't want to sound rude, but, if you can't afford it,
it's not for you.
Wow, this sounds rehearsed. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message to go through. Okay, somebody says that this is what they sent to parents. Try to go through that message a little bit later if I can. And let's see if we have another. Somebody says that Tim, the Prime Minister, will not accept anything from any short man. Okay.
Someone was asking in the chat room earlier about a giveaway. I wasn't aware that we were having a giveaway today.
In terms of what? Mugs? No. It's a privilege, to have a mug, a Newspin mug in your possession, okay? You never know what will happen. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. So it could come in very handy. Maybe 10 years from now, it might cost $5,000 might value that $5,000 for it,
Timothy, be for real.
I'm telling you. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, 716-2026. We have a caller on the line. It is Mr. Bermuda via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You are on the air. Hello. Good afternoon to you, sir. Are you placing an order for a mug, Mr. Bermuda?
Hello?
Are you placing an order for a mug?
I would like to have one for true. Seriously, I'd like to have one. I'd like to have one for true.
Okay. Have one of your relatives, have one of your friends or your relatives at Barnard Hill order one for you, okay?
Oh, you know I live at Barnard Hill.
That's where you're from. You keep saying that. What's in your mind, by the way? What's in your mind?
What's that?
What's in your mind?
Because so what's on my mind, I don't know where to start. members of the Mongoose gang, SFP government, they went over to Rwanda, right? Rwanda?
I don't know about
Was it Rwanda?
I don't know about anybody from any Mongoose gang going to Rwanda. I know a government minister went to Rwanda recently, sir.
Which government minister was it? Richard Frederick?
A government minister. But continue, because you know exactly who you're talking about.
What was it about?
I think it had something to do with local government.
Be more precise, sir, please. I'm a bit dumb, you know. I'm off raps. I ain't too bright, thank you.
You don't know about what local government is?
No.
Okay, managing the affairs of municipalities at various, at the council level, community level, because in the case of the Castries Constituencies Council, they are responsible for certain services in Castries North, Castries Central, Castries East, Castries South.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just thought it was different to what I thought. I just wanted to be
correct,
clear on where I'm going.
All right.
And how many of them went over there?
You had a delegation, I don't know, but you had a delegation of maybe about 5. That included the mayor of Castries. You also have the PS in the Ministry of Local Government. You had the minister and I think 2 other people.
What was the purse?
Okay. Mr. Bermuda,
yeah.
You know all the answers to those questions. Okay?
No, I don't know.
No, I fell for the bait.
I'm hearing different numbers. I'm getting different numbers. I want to know the purse that went over there about the purse. I want to know the purse.
Okay, you'll have to call. For that, you'll have to call the Ministry of Local Government, caller.
Because I'm asking these questions because of this. None of the hospitals in St. Lucia, or majority of hospitals and health centers in St. Lucia, you cannot get a pain tablet. You cannot get medicine. You cannot get medication. And they're putting the cart before the horse. That's what I'm dealing with. Why did they have to give the National Trust $750,000 before taking care of the health situation? How much money are we in debt? How much money are we in debt right now, Tim?
The national.
And how much money do we have? Any money in reserves? Do we have any money in reserve, and how much?
Those are questions that could be easily answered by the Director of Finance or the PS in the Ministry of Finance or the Prime Minister and Minister for Finance.
Because all I see solutions down there like debts. Another thing, is St. Lucia a one-party state? I know it's not a one-party state, but it runs like a one-party state. I have said that before, I'm going to say it again. I've said it many times. All the questions have been asked to the Flobo. No, I'm not a Flobo. Is when the Flobo opposition, they answer all the questions. The Flobo government, they answer all the questions. What's wrong with the SFP? Which country in the world would allow a party to go along to have a free ride without answering questions? Which country in the world? There's no country in the world would accept that nonsense. Having the Mongoose gang SFP government to do what they like and not coming to the party to answer questions. That's what I'm talking about. And some Lucians are sitting there like dum-dums are talking about a whoosh, a whoosh, a whoosh. And the more they say a whoosh, the more the whoosh talking them. And the more they say a whoosh, the more they can't eat chicken back. The more they say a whoosh, the more they eating steak. And having a caviar. The more they say a whoosh, the more solutions, the worse looking deplorable. Do you know that SFP have never built one house for Malawi? The SFP haven't built one house in 70 years. Since the formation, they haven't built one house for the Malawi. Not one. Well, I should speak of the correction. Richard Frederick trying to build some cabarets down there in January with no toilet and no water, no air. Why the solution open the brains? Solution are getting worse and worse and worse around, man. What's that? What's that, man? I'm a solution, man. They don't like dummies. Dumb. Lift your game, man. My people, lift your damn game. Take those guys out, man. Take your ass out. Later.
Okay, thank you so much. This guy is full of surprises. You are watching and listening to Newspin right here on Power 97.9 FM. We are also on YouTube and the Newspin Facebook page. Still to come, somebody says he's very much concerned about the situation between Guyana and Venezuela.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
It's my life and I want more. More time, more power. Pay my Lucy like bill isn't hard. I pay with credit or debit card. Pay direct to Lucy like my account. I have the power, yeah. Pay online to Lucy like my account. Anywhere, any day, any hour. Lights are on at home. No more standing in line. No more worrying about my bill. Now I'm all paid up. Got more time to chill, yeah. Pay my Lucy like bill isn't hard. I pay with credit or debit card.
Register today to set up Lucelect My Account by going to www.myaccount.lucelect.com on any device. Follow the steps to register and pay your electricity bills directly to Lucelect online and get back to your life. For now, this service is available to customers with domestic accounts only.
Celebrate the season with KFC's Christmas Festive Feast. Feast on our festive bucket. 6 pieces of chicken, 2 small mashed potatoes, 2 corns, 2 sodas, all for just $45. Or grab a festive box. 5 dipping wings, a sandwich, fries, a biscuit, and a soda, only $28. Make your holidays special with KFC's Festive Feast. Available at all KFC locations and for delivery. WhatsApp us at 484-0400 or visit our website, kfcslu.com, for more information. This is a limited time offer. Happy holidays from the management and staff of KFC.
You asked for it, and it's back. The National Farmers and General Workers Credit Union Limited announces the return of its Merry Till February Christmas loan promotion. Get up to $30,000 with absolutely no deposit and up to 5 years to repay. It's Merry Till February with the Farmers Credit Union. Call 454-6710 in VA4 or 452-7277 in Castries to book an appointment with one of our loans officers today. Terms and conditions apply.
In these modern times, the field of medicine has become so advanced that no one has to suffer any longer before they can be seen by a specialist doctor. La Clinique de Corps is proud to be the only healthcare provider in St. Lucia to offer the best and most experienced specialist doctors who are able to first correctly diagnose and then successfully treat health conditions such as chronic back pain, spinal injury, sciatica, numbness, lupus, arthritis, joint pain, facial nerve pain, knee, heel and shoulder pain, cramps and carpal tunnel syndrome. Also available at La Clinique de Corps, complete nerve tests to detect nerve injury or muscle disease. To make it easier for you, La Clinique de Corps is currently offering a special 30% discount for the Christmas season for all specialist consultations. All health insurances are accepted at La Clinique de Corps. So, walk into the new year pain-free with La Clinique de Corps. To book your appointment, please call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950.
Tis the season for new internet, a laptop, and some extra cash. This Christmas is on us. Sign up in-store or online today at discoverflow.co. Terms and conditions apply. Valid while stocks last.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadhu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
Celebrate this festive season with automotive art and make it a December to remember. Deck the halls of your garage with incredible deals that will light up your holiday season. For a limited time, enjoy a merry 20% off on all tools and accessories. A perfect gift for the car enthusiast in your life. But the holiday cheer doesn't stop there. Buy 3 tires on selected tire models and unwrap the gift of a 4th one for free. It's our way of spreading the joy of the road. And if that's not enough to make your season bright, slay the streets with up to 50% off on rims. Make this Christmas unforgettable. A December to remember at Automotive Art. Don't forget that we've extended opening hours in our Castries branch until 6 p.m. So hurry in and let the savings sleigh ride into your festive celebration. Automotive Art, where holiday magic meets the open road.
Find me where they find tonight, where we come to play within it. Blast your stress away, but know your limit. Just feel it, you're winning. We're having a blast, blast, blast. Hey! Your one-stop shop, lottery, VLTs and bingo. Come for the games, stay for the food, drinks and more. Celebrate with we feeling lucky. Blast with victory. Find me where they find tonight, where we come to play within it. Blast your stress away, but know your limit. Just feel it, you're winning. We're having a blast, blast, blast. Yeah, we playing blast.
Must be 18 or over to play. Only from the St. Lucia National Lottery. Changing lives.
Well, Venezuela is threatening to annex the Essequibo, that area which is in dispute. It is claiming ownership despite various agreements that have been signed at various conclusions. Although this whole matter is currently before the International Court of Justice, which is a court of the United Nations. And things are definitely... it appears that things are in a precarious state to the extent that Brazil is now protecting its borders, and the United States is dialoguing with the authorities over in Guyana and has pledged to provide some level of assistance and support. We just hope that the situation will remain calm and it'll just be, fiery rhetoric. As opposed to literally invading that territory and annexing it as is being threatened by the president of Venezuela, Maduro. So CARICOM has issued statement after statement, but the deputy political leader of the United Workers' Party, Mr. Guy Joseph, during an appearance on Newsmaker Live last evening, did call on the St. Lucia government to state its position, to state clearly whether it supports Guyana or Venezuela. And that is because, according to Mr. Joseph, of the implications. If there is any kind of situation that would result in military action on the part of either side, what the disruption can mean to us in St. Lucia, importing our rice, importing sugar from that South American country certainly can be a problem. And more than that, because we have had a long-lasting relationship with Guyana. We have had so many St. Lucians traveling to Guyana over several decades now and living there. And of course, we have a large Guyanese community in St. Lucia. No doubt they'll be very much concerned about the situation in their homeland. Let us hear Mr. Guy Joseph, once again Deputy Political Leader of the Opposition, UWP, speaking last evening on the situation during an appearance on the DBS special Newsmaker Live.
We are calling on the Labour Party government to make a declaration as to where St. Lucia is, what are the expectations. We cannot just hide under the CARICOM arrangement that is there, because I believe that this has serious implications. Tim, we've had shortages of rice, flour, and sugar in this country. And we know how much we depend on getting some of these supplies from Guyana. Can you imagine if things were to escalate, what is likely to happen? So I believe that the government needs to help allay the fears of the people of St. Lucia by coming forward and making a definitive statement and reassuring the people of St. Lucia as to measures that the government is taking to address the present situation, and behind the scenes whatever they can do to mitigate against the further impact. So that is looming over us going into the holiday season, and I know a lot of our Guyanese people who are in St. Lucia would be very concerned about their family and the state of things, but we want to let them know that we are very concerned also, because we've always had a good relationship with Guyana, and as a CARICOM member we are very concerned, and we are hoping that the government will step forward and allay the fears of the people of St. Lucia.
Deputy Political Leader of the UWP, Mr. Guy Joseph, speaking on last evening's Newsmaker Live. WhatsApp message, somebody says, Guyana is now an RSS member state. If they go to war, we would have to go assist as well, based on the RSS treaty. And by the way, Guyana has been a member of the regional security system since the year 2022. We have a call in line. Good afternoon to you. This is Newspin. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Hi, Tim.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Tim, I just want to make a short comment to follow up on that call you had from one of your clients last evening speaking about the previous board of the NIC making an error or didn't apply the rules correctly when approving the investment in Cabot. I'm reading from the investment policy document which guides the investment decisions of the NIC. And it says, given that tourism is the one major area whose development can have the greatest positive effect on the local economy, it is imperative that we emphasize investment therein. Allocation to this is indispensable in stimulating growth, which is essential if the NIC is to perpetuate itself. To remain viable, the NIC must grow both in terms of registered contributors and assets to support claims. Investment in this area should influence positively the attainment of that goal. It is important, however, that we keep in mind the nature of the NIC being a pension fund, and that the assessment of all investment opportunities therein must be carried out under the consideration of our investment objectives in order of safety, liquidity, and yield. Investments will depend on the availability of suitable and safe opportunities. Now, this is a sort of general guide one has to the investment decisions in the tourism sector. And thereafter, what would apply basically is the quality of the decisions being made by the people who sit on the board. Now, your caller attempted to denigrate the board with his comments. Now, I just want to point out to you that the board at that time, between the board and the investment committee, and the decisions usually start with the investment committee, there were at least 5 or 6 chartered accountants on that board who were accessing that information, who were involved in the decision. Okay? The director of the NIC is an MBA, and he's still there. Right? There were 2 persons there who were chairmen of banks. The chairman of the NIC at the time was a former director of finance in St. Lucia. I find it really almost unforgivable that somebody who has no known expertise in any area, business or otherwise, could attempt to cast aspersions on the decision-making ability of our board at that level. And the sad thing is that we have been through this ad infinitum, and he keeps on coming back with the same foolishness, to the extent now I think somebody was telling me he has offered to debate with me to prove who is lying. It's not a matter of who's lying, it's a matter of who's just not making any logical comment in relation to what is an important matter. We must remember that there is no question about it. Tourism is the way for St. Lucia's future. The previous government stated that quite clearly, and everything was being developed along the lines of increasing, if you will, the production of the land resources available to us in terms of the tourist dollar. Compare this with an incoming government where the leader of that government claimed that he never knew how important tourism was to St. Lucia. And this was repeated not only in St. Lucia but also in London, in the presence of the agents with whom we have to deal. So you have to look at the competence of the two parties and determine who is making a little bit more sense. So I really wish that this person would think twice before he comes back with this foolishness. There have also been cases where people were talking about the NIC could have bought the land, or people should have formed a company and come in and buy the land, etc. and so on. The investment policy also deals with that, because it says quite clearly the NIC should not participate in the equity of a startup company. And the reason for that is simple. Startup companies have a very high failure rate. And as I just mentioned earlier, there are certain considerations when the NIC is making an investment. We're talking about safety, liquidity, and yield. And all these 3 are like to be compromised in a startup situation. So there was not a case of anybody forming a company and coming together, putting money together, buying the land and do whatever. The NIC would not get involved in something like this, right? When the NIC gets involved in a new company, tourism-related, it says the NIC can participate via fixed income instruments, namely loans and bonds, which should be appropriately secured. And in the case of Cabot, it was appropriately secured, and which would ordinarily have first claim on the company's assets, which we did.
What would be the security in that case?
The security for the loan made to Cabot was the land.
Okay.
The land that they were purchasing.
The entire land? The entire land?
The entire lot. Entire lot. And there was no question about being appropriately secured. That was locked down in the agreement that was made with them. So I fail to understand this full concern that these guys are having in relation to investment and even the investment. And even worse, when you look at what's happening now, it has proved to be a very viable investment for St. Lucia. Why are we still pursuing that line of argument? I am absolutely baffled with it, and I really think it has to stop at a certain point in time. It's nonsensical, and the people who are making those comments invariably do not have a platform on which to stand. They have neither the knowledge, the experience, the qualifications, nothing. But yes, still they keep expounding these things and challenging people. I hope what I've just said puts it to rest. I'm quoting directly from the investment policy, There's a lot more that can be said, but this is not the appropriate time for it.
But let me ask you, what do you think issues of that nature, controversies of that nature that surface and people questioning the motives of agencies that are involved in such initiatives like the NIC, what do you think that will do to investor confidence and investor weariness?
I think certainly it cannot be good for the country when we have people attempting to undermine the work of the homegrown professionals in these particular areas. But the point is, when we go in relation to external investors, they're just interested in making profit. So effectively, they will do their assessments. As long as they can make an adequate return, taking into consideration all the risks they face, they will still come into the country.
Okay.
That's provided when they do their modeling, that they adequately cover all the various risks and so on. But in the sense, when people were talking about, I remember another caller you had last night, a former government minister, I believe, if I got the voice right, speaking about government should have taken over the lands and do whatever. I mean, this is so nonsensical. We are living in a democratic society. How can you have somebody who owns an asset for the reasons of its own, a political reason, a government is going to attempt to interfere with the ownership of that asset and then kick those people out? I mean, that is going to affect all the investment opportunities that could exist in the future in a case like this.
Sounds like what Fidel Castro did in 1959 during the
Precisely.
revolution.
Once you have this
expropriation
kind of
of state of goods, of certain assets
you,
here.
Then you will find people looking away and saying, look, I'm not going inside. It's probably worth a lot. It's not worth the trouble they put to go inside there and invest. And a lot of them are in that area. And even then, in a lot of instances, the people who are making those comments are people who are questionable. That former government minister I was speaking to, he faced the courts in terms of diverting the benefit of a what they call it?
Concessions
towards his own personal use. What moral authority does he have to come and now speak on any topic involving honesty and equity and integrity, etc. and so on? None. We have to get away from that. Look at people's motives and assess it and move on from there. Let's stop this foolishness where you just want to kneel somebody down for political purposes. It's wrong.
Okay.
It's simply wrong. It will not be doing us any favors, and certainly we cannot be taken seriously when we do this sort of thing.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you so much. Just there from Mr. Frank Myers, former deputy chair of the National Insurance Corporation. Comments in the chat room, Kimani.
In the chat room, someone says St. Lucian's position is reflected in CARICOM communique on the matter. Guy Joseph, your request lacks diplomatic pedigree. Someone says collect the gang members in St. Lucia and send them to fight for Guyana. Give them a legitimate reason to use their guns. Another comment, Tim, don't look for any excuses for Emma. She better start planting rice. The situation between Guyana and Venezuela appears to be an attempt to destabilize regional stability and sovereignty. Tim, is there a real mayor for the city? Who is it? Let's see. Venezuela has done for St. Lucia. Guyana has done for St. Lucia. I am not fighting. Just now, anyone can take over SLU. Kind of man gone crazy, fighting for land and material possessions. Another comment, when you should have demonstrated against the lack of consultation on the CCJ, it's now y'all are concerned about the education bill. The government has no respect for its citizens, and unless people take a stand against how they are being treated, this type of behavior will continue. Someone says Castries is a latrine piss. The city needs to complete a complete makeover. Our sidewalks look like rough, cracked door, redundant buildings, dirty buildings that need power washing. It's a mess. Another comment, CARICOM is not going to do anything. USA is back in Maduro, Venezuela. That's it, Tim.
Thank you so much. We have a WhatsApp call. Good afternoon to you. This is Newspin. You're on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Timani.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah. Tim, is this such an act like the Public Freedom of Information Act has been legislated in St. Lucia?
No, it has not been.
But, well, I mean, we live in a democracy. This should be a priority to the government of St. Lucia. when you get into cabinet, instead of arguing over stupid things and being stupid, why don't they pass this act to inform the public of when deals are being taken on behalf of the citizens? You have ministers telling you that it's none of your business. You know, you have ministers also saying that I had a date with someone, and I will not tell you what the date is all about. All this is ridiculous. They owe this information to the public, and it's an insult to the public when such comments like this have been made. You know, and I find the citizens are not standing up to these things and saying, look, we need this act passed because we want information. 2 pots have been sold.
Leased.
No information is being given to the public.
Not sold, caller. They are being leased. They are being leased.
Well, I say sold. 40 years, you can call it sold. Because you'll be an old man, you'll be dead, and you'll be gone. And that's it. Okay, it's been leased, okay? But at least the public, you owe that to the public. 200 plus million has been borrowed. You understand? And nothing has been said to the public. How much is going to go towards the renovation of the stadium? How much is going to go towards the rebuilding of St. Jude's? I mean, you live in a democracy. You don't live in a republic, or you live in a communist country that the government doesn't owe the public that information. This should be paramount. And I think it's time this legislation is being enacted. Thank you very much, Tim.
All right, thank you so much. But I could tell you, it will not occur at the behest of any government, whether it's this administration or any other government, for us to have a Freedom of Information Act in place. It certainly will take the intervention of civil society. It will also take the intervention of the media as a fraternity. And we don't even have a vibrant media organization in St. Lucia. We don't have a Media Association of St. Lucia. We don't have any such body that represents the interest of media workers, far less having the temerity or the courage to push for the government to have such an act in place so that it can represent the interest of the wider St. Lucian society. So I don't know what good soul will come forward and lead the charge on this particular matter, as is required in a range of other issues on the island. As far as challenging the government on various issues, just a few citizens are doing it, and the opposition, you know, in instances when opposition forces speak out on certain issues, those are viewed with a great degree of suspicion. So, caller, as much as the observations are valid, it certainly will take a lot on the part of various players, other players, for us to have a Freedom of Information Act in St. Lucia. The broadcast will continue in just a moment with more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages as you continue to watch and listen to Newspin.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Introducing the new LuSelect Virtual Service Desk, where one click is your access to every service. From my account to streetlight reports, requests for payment arrangements to settle arrears, change of name and address. Easy online forms give you access from anywhere and at any time. Every service you need at your fingertips. Go to our website, luselect.com, and click on the Virtual Service Desk widget. LuSelect's Virtual Service Desk. Every solution at your fingertips.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Sign up for a large postpaid plan and get 2 Samsung Galaxy A4s for just $199, plus 2 entries into the Everyday Grand Giveaway. This Christmas is on us. Sign up in store or online today at discoverflow.co. Terms and conditions apply.
You asked for it, and it's back. The National Farmers and General Workers Credit Union Limited announces the return of its Merry Till February Christmas loan promotion. Get up to $30,000 with absolutely no deposit and up to 5 years to repay. It's Merry Till February with the Farmers Credit Union. Call 454-6710 in VA4 or 452-7277 in Castries to book an appointment with one of our loans officers today. Terms and conditions apply.
Get ready for the most delicious holiday season ever with KFC's 12 Days of Christmas. Starting November 18th to 19th December, spend just $30 or more at KFC and you could win fabulous prizes. Win an iPhone 15, a home entertainment system, a smartwatch, a VR headset, and household appliances. Plus, we're giving away a $1,500 grocery voucher and a $500 voucher for wine and spirits. The excitement continues from December 8th to December 19th with one incredible prize up for grabs every single day. Terms and conditions apply. This promotion is approved by the St. Lucia National Lottery. Don't miss out on your chance to win big this holiday season with KFC's 12 Days of Christmas. Promotion valid at all KFC locations and delivery. Visit kfcslu.com for full terms and conditions.
In these modern times, the field of medicine has become so advanced that no one has to suffer any longer before they can be seen by a specialist doctor. La Clinique de Corps is proud to be the only healthcare provider in St. Lucia to offer the best and most experienced specialist doctors who are able to first correctly diagnose and then successfully treat health conditions such as chronic back pain, spinal injury, sciatica, numbness, lupus, arthritis, joint pain, facial nerve pain, knee, heel and shoulder pain, cramps and carpal tunnel syndrome. Also available at La Clinique de Corps, complete nerve tests to detect nerve injury or muscle disease. To make it easier for you, La Clinique de Corps is currently offering a special 30% discount for the Christmas season for all specialist consultations. All health insurances are accepted at La Clinique de Corps. So, walk into the new year pain-free with La Clinique de Corps. To book your appointment, please call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950.
Celebrate this festive season with automotive art and make it a December to remember. Deck the halls of your garage with incredible deals that will light up your holiday season. For a limited time, enjoy a merry 20% off on all tools and accessories. The perfect gift for the car enthusiast in your life. But the holiday cheer doesn't stop there. Buy 3 tires on selected tire models and unwrap the gift of a 4th one for free. It's our way of spreading the joy of the road. And if that's not enough to make your season bright, slay the streets with up to 50% off on rims. Make this Christmas unforgettable. A December to remember at Automotive Art. Don't forget that we've extended opening hours in our Castries branch until 6 p.m. So hurry in and let the savings sleigh ride into your festive celebration. Automotive Art, where holiday magic meets the open road.
Find me where the vibe's nice, where we come to play within it. Blast your stress away, but know your limit. Just feel it, you're winning. We're having a blast, blast, blast. Hey! Your one-stop shop, lottery, VLTs and bingo. Come for the games, stay for the food, drinks and more. Celebrate with me, we feeling lucky. Blast with victory. Find me where the vibe's nice, where we come to play within it. Blast your stress away, but know your limit. Just feel it, you're winning. We're having a blast, blast, blast. Yeah, we playing blast,
Must be 18 or over to play. Only from the St. Lucia National Lottery. Changing lives.
Gather your friends and family for a festive night filled with decadent delights and enchanting entertainment as Project Chocolat presents an evening like no other. Nuelo Chocolat! Come join us on December 23rd from 7 p.m. as the evening sparkles with performances by The Extreme Band, Sir Lancelot, DJ Rebo, and The Invader. Supply rhythms that will have you dancing all night long. Tickets are just $40 for an unforgettable night of joy and Christmas cheer. Don't wait, grab your tickets today. Available at the sale outlets at Bamboo's Bar Supreme. Nuelo Chocolat, where the magic of Christmas and the allure of entertainment come together. Project Chocolat St. Lucia, celebrating Christmas in the sweetest way. Call us at 1758-731-3028 or 731-3847 for more information.
For the festive season, Lucians like their ham, the turkey, pork, beef and liquor.
Why not? But that's all for the kitchen. What about the living room?
A vacuum cleaner to tidy up the place, man.
What about the yard?
A lawnmower, a brush cutter, leaf blowers, a high pressure washer. The thing is, Europa Hardware has all the robust tools we all need to nice up the place. A large variety of water pumps, generators, air compressors, garden hoses, and more. A list that has no end. Plus, Europa services all the tools they sell. Give them a call at 452-0763. Europa Hardware, we are located in Massad, Grozile.
Happy holidays, St. Lucia, from Europa.
That message, we certainly have short memories. Where is the passport lady? Nobody talks about the corruption going on in the passport office anymore. Last week, my niece and her daughter paid a significant amount of money for 2 passports to the briefcase. The briefcase is part of what is delaying the timely delivery of passports. I hope this goes on the list of reasons why this government should not be re-elected come the next general election. And the Home Affairs Minister, Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot, a few months ago, did promise that there would be a probe. Up to this day, we have not heard of the findings into that particular investigation. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says, thanks for taking the initiative to have these mugs on sale. I definitely would like to purchase 3 mugs, please. I look forward to the instruction for where I can pick up and pay. Thank you. All right. You'll be hearing from me very, very soon. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Tim, good afternoon. Azzy is singing for his supper. I'm not surprised at his comments on your show last evening. And let's see if we have some more of your messages there. Okay. Somebody says the Education Act should have input from parents and other adults in our society, especially with all what's happening with the LGBTQ agenda and the USA's nudging of world governments to pass legislation incorporating that agenda. As usual, not sufficient consultation, potentially trying to slip bills through. Comments in the chat room, Kimani?
Comments in the chat room. Someone says, St. Lucia's government is acting like a dictatorship. Don't ask no questions, just agree with whatever they are doing. Someone says, I'm 53 and 40 years from now I will be 93 before we can get our ports back. Emma and her secret deal. Let's wait for 9 months to see what the secret date and deal brings. Someone is asking, why can't St. Lucians grow its own sugarcane for production? When Guyana and Venezuela's war start, where is the island going to import sugar from?
I think one of the issues that it is just too costly. I mean, a number of countries that have been in that kind of sector, they have branched out, and that's because of the cost that is involved. And we don't want to add this to the public purse. So maybe in terms of being cost effective, it is more beneficial for a country to import such a commodity than to produce it for the local market. Because if you produce for the local market, maybe in terms of the quantity, we don't have the population. And maybe if we just want to manufacture it for St. Lucia, it really, there's no justification for the cost that will be involved to manufacture it.
Makes sense. Another comment in the chat room, someone says, none of them in the house will be alive when that pot is completed. Look it.
What's a message? The situation going on in Guyana-Venezuela is more than concerning not only about shortages of staples, but also from a sovereign state standpoint and the further ramifications of the annexation of a small state by a more powerful one. It encroaches on our freedom, liberty, and our very survival. Well said.
Someone says confidentiality has been a component of negotiations for more than 500 years. 49%ers, stop your nonsense. Someone is saying, Rick, where are you? The time is going by quickly. Favit. Let's see. The city is a representation of the government in power. Another comment, all of our young men are dying in View Fort. You'll think we need another stadium. By the time it will be done, we won't have any young men left in View Fort. It's better the PM fix the schools with that money instead.
Somebody says there, funny enough, the Police Act is being revised with, guess what? No consultation. And it's spelled C-O-R-N for con, S-A-L-T, salt, T-A-Y-T, S-H-U-N, shun. No consultation with the Welfare Association. Coincidence? That's according to the WhatsApp message.
Another comment, the Guyana Defense Force is a small but elite force. The Venezuelans know that they have lost even before they begin. It's there every 5 years. Vote getting the GDF has been tried and proven themselves up in the task. Let those big belly fellows from the SSU and attached to the RSS live until pension time.
Okay. We have a call. Rick Wayne is on the line. Good afternoon to you. This is Newspin. You are on the air.
Tim.
Hi, good afternoon, Rick.
Do you ever have moments where you just sit and just think about the St. Lucia you've known over the years? Think about our conditions and don't occupy yourself with anything to do with politicians, just the situation. Do you ever do that?
I do that very often. And I also, in the process, I say to myself, boy, we could have been a lot further despite all our limitations and challenges and despite our size. Because in such instances, size do not matter. And there are a number of people, outstanding people in our society who have demonstrated that all the time. Irrespective of their background or where they have come from, they have excelled.
Let me tell you the nightmare we're facing. We have a handful of people who are fairly smart people. I'm not necessarily calling them critical thinkers or guys with any kind of mind as to moving anything anywhere. But they're okay guys. They can read and write, and they can probably hold a reasonable conversation if it doesn't get too deep. Because there's no reason for them to. That's the point. And these guys, more often than not, are holding government jobs, whether it's a UWP government office or Labour Party jobs. And they have lived that way most of their lives. So are we expecting these guys to rock any boats? The answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, when their party is in office, these guys, you wonder what the hell they do. Because they're doing nothing.
They hibernate.
No visible,
they hibernate.
no visible means of support. There was one time that was a crime in St. Lucia. No visible means of support.
Rick, they hibernate for 5 years, hoping that their party will win. Mm-hmm.
Hibernate. I'm very serious, dude. They almost don't exist. Nowadays, they engage themselves with foolishness on Facebook, which tends to show that we overestimated their intelligence in the first place. You have somebody come on your show like last night, for example, Guy Mayers. I have no choice but to pick Guy Mayers.
Guy Joseph. Yeah.
Guy Joseph. Because the other guys will not come on your show. They will only go on super friendly shows where the host himself is watching his bread. Because bread is scarce. I want you to look at all of those things, you know. Bread is scarce. So even when a show host or an interviewer wants to be tough, he has to put the reins on how tough he's going to get based on the consequences. You see me? You see the situation we find ourselves in?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, well, let me go on the guy, like Guy Joseph, for example. I mean, Cabot, I watched the show last night. Cabot was a big thing. Well, I wanted to stay out of it because I just saw there was no seriousness in the discussions. Okay? And you have to also state that the people, the principals who are involved in the Cabot issue did not come out with any kind of serious opposition view to what was going on, you know. I'm talking about government ministers, I'm talking about people in proper position to give out strong answers and to stand up to the opposition that they claimed was wrong anyway. Instead, they just gave up to it.
They did not envisage the consequences of that kind of neglect.
Then the dumb and shouldn't be holding their jobs because there are solutions as well. We know the consequences. That's why we act or don't act in this place. You know, I'm proud of this thing. Boy, we're going that 1 minute, the man on this side, that side. That's how they see it. But it's not useful to see it that if you say 1 and 1 is 2, and Rick Wayne understands that you're saying 1 and 1 2, he's going to agree with you. But if tomorrow you come and say 1 and 1 is 8, and Rick Wayne doesn't see that, he's going to tell you where you can stick that. So my reputation is fine by me of being unstable in my quote-unquote support, because it was never support, my quote-unquote support of different administrations. I watched that show last night, and it's almost as if the certain callers have a script, but they don't have the information either to stand by the script. So, I mean, one woman called up and would not allow you to permit the guest to answer her questions. She actually asked you to permit her to ask 2 questions and then she will hang up. Remember that?
Yes. And
when you cut her off after your argument, she called back.
Yeah, when she asked when she asked the first question, I then turned over to my guest and asked him to answer the question.
Yeah, and she wouldn't let you.
And she said, I will not allow him to answer because he will embarrass himself. Make a fool of himself, something like that.
But the one that was better for me was when she called back, and then Guy asked her something about what land you're talking about, what area. And she giggled or whatever and hung up. She hung up this time, am I right?
She hung up. No, I think I cut off. I think I cut off.
I don't know why I don't care when I'm doing a show. I don't care who is calling. I've said that so many times. It can be a yellow person, a red. I don't need to know. It's the quality of your question and your respect for yourself and me and my guest that will determine whether I listen to you or not. You know what I'm saying? And I've said so over and over. Even as I call you here, people are free to call up and challenge what Rick Wayne just said there to Tim was nonsense, you know. I look forward to it. You don't get any of that. So, Tim, where the hell is a country like that going? Meanwhile, Tim, we have overseas. You remember Parry Husbands had a young son who was quite brilliant. He was a young guy. Mm-hmm. And he went overseas.
Yeah, Parry Husband Jr. I actually went to school with him. Parry Husband Jr.
I'll be talking to you about these guys maybe in the new year or maybe just before you close. When are you closing this week?
I don't know yet. But I'll be on. I'm not closing this week. I'll be on for a little while.
Okay. We have a number of young people, and for young, I talk about 35, between 35, 45, and 50. These are young people educated, because you have to be around a while to get educated and get track with. Those people who are calling, man, get rid of them old fellas in the parliament. The problem in the parliament is not age. The problem in our parliament is dumbness, and people who think they are dictators. And people, I mean, the kind of thing you see on television, it's so easy to sit on a television, behave like an animal, know there are a lot of animals supporting you for whatever reason, knowing that no guy with any real intelligence will call you, because that's how it is again here. It's like that here. But we have those guys overseas in that age group who are working for big firms, investment companies, Tim. There's a thing I didn't even know about that nanotechnology and things like that. I'm talking about my husband's young kid, Marius Wilson's son, a giant in investments, overseas. These guys are working for selling things to Google, and these guys, geniuses, either born of St. Lucian parents overseas, and in a couple of cases, born of St. Lucian parents in St. Lucia and moved out. We are not interested in approaching those guys even for information, coming over here for lectures once in a while, let alone putting them in charge of St. Lucia's future for a few years. That doesn't even occur to us, Tim. So we have people who in their souls stay in touch with St. Lucia, and they know the mess we're in, They know the mess we're in better than Rick Quinn.
They have a deeper appreciation of the situation, Colin. Rick. Because they're outside, they're looking in.
Appreciation is a nice word.
Yeah.
But they have a greater recognition of the nightmare and where we are going. Look at where we find ourselves now. What does it matter what CARICOM says? Who gives a balls about what CARICOM, way back 20, 30 years ago, I have the speech up to this day. What's her name from Dominica, the Prime Minister? Eugenia Charles. Eugenia Charles, at a meeting of CARICOM, dismissed those guys because one of the speakers had said in effect that he couldn't wait for the meeting to close so that he could go visit certain places in the island. I don't know if he thought he was doing a tourism promo for the place, but Eugenia Charles, who didn't mess around, she shouted them down. She says those guys come to those CARICOM meetings. The people they represent have no idea what the agenda is. They themselves quite often don't know what the agenda is, including herself, she said, until they get to the venue. And she said after the meeting, which they can hurry up, know the real decisions made, they go back to their little island and don't even mention that. This has been going on from the days of Eugenia Charles. So the little things, SME and whatnot, that we like to claim or pretend we can travel to Barbados, I don't know for what, or looking for a job in Barbados. And all those organizations, back in the day of Eugenia Charles, she had seen that they were useless. They were jobs for the boys. They were the party guys. Our ambassadors. And I want all of them to, while I say ambassador, right away they're going to take up my son. My son went to Morocco. I think he spent 6 months there and left that foolishness and went to school. Okay? And he's now working for an investment company in Miami, just for those who want to know. But that's my private business. I don't have to mean it. But anyway. Tim, I just don't know what the hell, because CARICOM and Venezuela and Alba and what's the other one? We are just little crumbs on the floor.
Mm.
And we refuse to recognize that. We talk like we have oil and we cannot answer with any kind of validity, any kind of evidence, any serious question in the country, Most of our politicians, and every time you accuse a politician, it's a nice trick. You as a private citizen, the minute you accuse a politician of something about his office, he's going to start cussing you as a citizen, and he'll get away with it. Imagine that. You as a citizen, it doesn't matter what sins you have committed as a citizen. It's none of his goddamn business. It's for the police and everybody else. But he and what he does is the business of every crab in this society. But the crabs are afraid of saying anything, perchance these monsters come together and destroy them with their own tax money. That's what we have. We tolerate crap. Even as I speak, I can just hear them grumbling out there because they think I'm talking about one particular guy or whatever it is. We go through Hansard. Hansard is a comic book, Tim. We look back on YouTube and see the various debates. The actual debates, the content is 5-10 minutes, and yet the thing goes on for 2 days. 2 days of déclassé mépris, and we tolerate that. So now you have this teacher, applaud him, talking about what he thinks.
The Education Act and the lack of consultation.
But how many times I have told you, consultation in this place is pretend inclusion. The illusion of inclusion is what consultation is about. How much consultation was there on CCJ? And just because the government had the power to use their numbers, and that's debatable, and nobody has tested that. The government went ahead with CCJ. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with CCJ. It means there's everything wrong with our parliamentarians and our people who just swallow it. It's not CCJ that's the fault. It's the crap population I have and the tolerance of that crap population of crap parliamentarians. You get me?
Get your point, sir. All right, thank you so much, Rick.
What?
It's already after 2 minutes after 2. Thank you so much. I know you could go for another 3 hours, but it's already after 2. We'll continue tomorrow, God spare.
Bye, Jim.
All right, take care. So Rick has taken CARICOM to task and basically saying as far as this whole situation involving Venezuela and Guyana, CARICOM is useless, according to him. Well, CARICOM heads of government will meet on Friday, tomorrow, and that is to discuss the Guyana-Venezuela dispute over the Essequibo region. And also, in St. Lucia, we have a new Guyana St. Lucia executive. I'll attempt to go through the composition of the executive in just a moment. But Kimani, what is happening in the chat room?
In the chat room, someone says, I admire Rick for his dearth of knowledge, both past and present, and his ability to recall facts at will. Enough respect to this great man, and that's a fact. Someone says, Rick, these Labour ministers, when in opposition, just stay and scratch their boy. Another comment in the chat room. We have an animal zoo, Rick, waiting for our parliament and a speaker box for speaker. Where are we going? And let's see what else we have in the chat room. I heard Hila say that they will be constructing a new hotel in the north where there are so many hotels there already. Why not think of some factories? Thank you, Rick, because I was sitting here listening to the contribution and wondering where he was when all the noise was being made about Cabot's loan. In the chat room, someone says, by the time we stop fighting partisan politics and dealing seriously with issues that affect this country, to get it back on track, we would all be old and weak, dead, and SLU stuck in the twilight zone. All we care about is insults and dodging the facts. Wow. Someone in the chat room says, Tim, I think you should have a special ceremony to recognize your long-standing and avid Newspiners. Give us a physical badge or something. Imagine walking in the city and you are recognized. Ha ha ha.
That already is some kind of compensation for being a new spinner or reward.
There is so much land the government owns, which they had will to develop. Why don't they now invest in these and make them a viable, profitable concern? Instead, they are giving away our developed ports, cash cow away. Someone says, spot on, Frank. The deceased Norbert Williams did speak to that during the initial Cabot fiasco. The NIC was within their rights to invest in Cabot. Let's see what else we can find in the chat room. The boat's upside down now, tipped over moi mem. That's it.
Okay, I can't get information, but I know that Mr. David Shakes Christopher is on the executive, the new executive of the St. Lucia Guyana Association. He is the public relations officer. Horace Fraser, according to that press release I read earlier on, he is also the deputy chair. So I'll have the full executive for you during the course of our broadcast tomorrow afternoon. Our Newspin News of the Day, that's our final feature, our Newspin News of the Day. Guyana appeals to U.S. and UN as Maduro advances annexation of territory. Guyana appeals to U.S. and the UN as Maduro advances annexation of territory. And that's our final feature on this afternoon's Newspin broadcast. A reminder again, to get your Newspin mugs, they are available. And you can always place an order by sending me a WhatsApp message at 716-2026, 716-2026. It is a collector's item, and we just have a few left, and we're hoping to sell them as quickly as possible. We will not be producing any more as soon as this batch of mugs are sold to you. That will be it. So it's a one-time offer. That's the Christmas mugs. So it's cost only $50. And to place your order, just send me a WhatsApp message at 716-2026. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Please join us tomorrow afternoon, same time, 12:30, for another edition of Newspin. Goodbye.